Hi there, we are Team Vridhi who designed the Vridhi blockchain for tracing the chain of custody of agricultural, horticulture, and forest produce. We are table number 14 in the recently concluded blockchain hackathon in Bangalore. Myself, Arindam Bhattacharjee, who is the team lead and have experience in supply chain and climate change scenarios. Jay Shah, who was a middleware integrator, and Rajshekhar Reddy, the blockchain developer. The problem statement that we tackled is to integrate energy economics in agriculture supply chain to facilitate sustainable development. The aim is to increase farmer income and access to world markets for finished goods. Since we are computer science majors, we first started with the generic problem and boiled down to the mango use case. First, we understand that supply chain itself is an energy economics problem because crop is nothing but the water and electricity that is supplied to the earth. Uh, when we move one crop from place A to place B, we are actually moving water and energy from place A to place B. Also, understanding that we don't have proper electricity or internet connectivity in the villages, we have introduced an entity called Netizen Center, which is basically a knowledge sharing system between the government agencies and the end user in the village. The system also helps to monitor if the village actually grows the produce sustainably. It monitors the energy used if integrated with solar pumping also. We also look forward to mine coins in these netizen centers in the future. The hindsight problem that we are looking is, can with the supply chain help integrate more solar into the grid while fighting climate change, which could be a scenario where solar irrigation will be integrated with organic produce. Through this netizen center, the expert would provide information about the latest research and latest seeds, which would go into the organic produce that in the village. Now, coming down to the entities and attributes of our models, we have villagers, village netizen center, consultants, experts, distributors, market, and end user. The consultants could be a government or a university. The experts could be professors or government officials. But the attributes that which we are mapping at every step is basically the energy, water, the climate, and the livelihood of each entity. This encourages and checks even if the end user is following sustainable habits. The transactions that we have are basically the irrigation fertilizers, manures, seed information, the farm type, and the harvest type. Now, this is the transaction view of our supply chain, where a villager can sell its produce to the village itself or can sell its produce to a netizen center. Our netizen center would then share the information with the experts and the consultants. Here, all the quality control will happen, and then the consultant will suggest to the distributor as to which markets the produce has to be sold. The distributor will then connect with the villager and then uh, sell it to international or domestic markets. Now, coming to the website that we produce, so this is the website where we are showing a basic transaction between farmers and a netizen center. Here we are trying to trade 100 mangoes over the netizen center. The following video explains how a farmer is registered and how a netizen center is registered and how the transaction happens over our system. So we added a farmer, and then we added a netizen center in the same village, and then we traded the mango variety 2, which is an organic variety, with netizen center and sold 100 such mangoes. So we get the transaction address, which is shown pending, and finally the transaction was successful. Now, going back to a real world use case, what we had done is basically given one Ethereum to 1,000 mangoes. So, this is how the supply chain scenario works. A villager produces 100 mangoes and sells it to the netizen center, which accepts 80 of it and rejects 20. This is one contract. Then, an expert, which could be KSD or an academic, would accept 60 such of these mangoes and rejects the 20, which is the contract between the netizen and the consultants. The consultant, the government or university will then accept 50 mangoes to be sold, and rest could keep the 10 mangoes as a consultancy charge for providing knowledge to those villagers through the netizen center. After this, the distributor accepts those 50 mangoes and follows a direction from expert to sell the mangoes to the international or domestic market. Then the distributor picks up the produce from the village and then decides to sell 30 mangoes to international market and 20 mangoes to Indian customers directly. Uh, Here in this case, for that one mango, all steps are recorded right from the point where it was sown to the point where it was finally sold. We are using open source products developed by Columbia University, ODK Collect and ODK Sensor, to collect all the information in the whole supply chain cycle. We are using API calls to connect this information to our Vriddhi blockchain. Uh, then we also have a visualization tool which basically can be used for quality control also during the whole crop cycle. Uh, and on the right side of of this, these are the forms describing the information of, for example, a form of market describing the information of the type of market and its requirements that has to be accessed by the experts uh, to do quality evaluation. So this is basically our demonstration was on using blockchain for selling farm produce from farmer to international and domestic market while capturing each and every supply chain narrative. This thank you from Team Vriddhi. Good night.